One. Hello everyone and welcome to Stan the Wine Man TV. I am your host, Stan Rattan, and this is a blue collar wine show where I help you spend your wine dollars wisely. We're going to have a little fun today. We are going to do a blind tasting of Grenache from all over the place. We have one from France, Italy, Spain, and Washington State. Now the only one that's really not fair is Washington State because, you know, if you do a blind tasting in a somm class, they would never pull a Grenache from Washington State because that's not typically where they come from. It doesn't matter. We're just going to have a little fun with this, see which one comes out on top. I have 4 here, so we're going to get right into it. But first of all, let's talk about Grenache. We call it Grenache in Spain. They call it Garnacha. And in Sardinia, they call it Cannonau. You see, you've heard of Cannonau di Sardinia. That is Grenache, and that's the one that's really heart healthy because it has all the good things in it for your heart. And a lot of people that drink that wine there in Sardinia live to be very, very old. Their average lifespan is quite high. They live a long time. You get the point. So we're going to look at these and see which one comes out on top. I'm very curious myself. So let's get started right away with number 1. It's a little cold out here in the garage. It's windy outside. That's why I've got this sweatshirt on. Number 1. Let's see where this one went. Oh boy, talk about purple, reddish purple. Man, this is crazy. Color, black, reddish purple. Let's see what we get on the nose. A strawberry kind of licorice coming through. Now it's interesting, Grenache in France is the workhorse of Chateauneuf-du-Pape. Most Chateauneuf-du-Papes have a large percentage of Grenache in them. So it's a really well-respected grape. I'm a big fan of Grenache. I like it a lot. Licorice, a little chocolate, a little strawberry, and some plum notes as well. Let's see what we get on the palate. Number 1. Very typical of Grenache, it's spicy. That's one of the things I like about a Grenache. This has some guts to it. I mean, fairly fruit forward, which makes you think it might be Washington State. I'm not going to call that right now, but there's some minerality too, which kind of throws me off a little bit because you usually get more minerality, more acidity in the old world, more rusticity. But this one has some nice flavors to it. The chocolate comes through with the strawberry kind of plum notes. Good weight on the palate, good balance, nice integration. The licorice comes through on the backside. The really kind of nice minerality on the finish of this one. Nice, a little bit of a grip. Nice spiciness, like that pepper or spice that comes through on this is really cool. This is integration, nice flow across the palate. The tannins are not super serious. Yeah, just nice intensity, but at the same time it's really balanced. Yeah, number 1 is going to get an A- from me. So you guys remember that. Number 1, A-. Let's move on to number 2. Number 2. A little rinse here, even though they're all Grenache, Garnacha, or Cannonau. They have different flavor profiles. So the color on this isn't quite as intense as number 1. Number 2. Number 1's a lot lighter. Yeah, definitely lighter. You can see through it. I got the board here. Yes, very light. Number 2, what do we get on the nose? But this is more red fruit, like red berry, maybe a little raspberry. Not quite as aromatic as number 1, for sure. And it's lighter. I do get some chocolate notes coming through on this one as well, which is interesting. I don't always remember seeing getting chocolate on Grenache, but maybe it's just what, maybe my nose is gravitating towards chocolate today. Who knows? I like the lighting in here. I'm still working on it. I put the Paisano Man up here. Again, I think it'll help the camera a little bit. Some licorice notes, but again, a little challenge on the nose. Let's see what we get on the palate. Not quite as intense as number 1, but it still has good fruit. I do get a little chocolate notes with again, I'm getting some red berry notes with, now on this one there's a little bit of strawberry coming through as well, and some plum notes, but a little thinner than number 1. This probably is Old World. The cool thing about Grenache is it can be a little bit lighter. I had somebody ask me for a red to go with turkey soup today, and of course I said, well, maybe a Pinot Noir, but then I led them to a Carignan Caladoc blend, but this Grenache would be good with something like that because it's not heavy, it's a little lighter. That's what I like about a Grenache. It can get kind of big, and in some cases it has a little more finesse. So this is more Pinot-like, but you still have that. This is not as spicy as number 1. Some nice minerality on the finish on this one, a little bit of grip on the back end. I like this one. A- on 1, I'm going to go straight up B- B on number 2. Good grades, you know, I mean, that's what they are. Let's go to number 3. I'm going to say number 2 is Old World. I'm leaning towards, so we got A-, B-, B. So I'll keep them in that order if there's somebody jumps in front. Number 3, again, this one is, yeah, fairly light. You can see through it. It's a reddish tone for sure, hedging towards the red. So we get on those. Ooh, this has some veggie on it. Some like nettles and a little bit of blackberry stem. Very interesting, almost Cab Franc-like. Weird. Yeah, this is a really interesting herbaceousness on the nose, vegetal qualities on the nose, very Cab Franc-like. I'm getting a little kind of hedging towards like a black plum on this one. Let's see if we get on the palate. If you were getting some like tobacco, like ashtray tobacco on this one on the back side, like, you know, like a used, you know, like when they sprinkle the ashes in the ashtray, you get that kind of, you know, that those aromas would give that flavor in your mouth. It's not disgusting, but it is very much like that. A little tobacco going on here, and if you're a Cab Franc lover, you would like this one because that herbaceousness comes through. Tobacco notes all day, almost a little bit on the smoky side as well. Very interesting Grenache. A little grippy. That tobacco like notes really strong on this one. Very interesting with that kind of herbaceousness coming through on this. Vegetal qualities. The red berry notes are in there. A little grippy on the back end. Yeah, this would be a Grenache. I would not recommend this Grenache to somebody who's first breaking into Grenache. You would have to have a real quirky palate. I'd have to know your palate before I'd suggest you take this wine. I like it. It has some real interesting things to think about in the palate. It has good balance. It's well made. It's just not what you would expect from a Grenache. The tobacco notes are just wild on this one. Almost like I said, like almost a burnt tobacco. Interesting. I don't know what to grade this one because I'm going to just go straight up C plus B minus on that one. So we're right in order: A minus, B, C plus, B minus. Interesting. That is a very interesting Grenache. All right, number 4. See what we got here. Wow. I'm gonna have to revisit that one. I'm not gonna put you guys through it. Just what an interesting. Man, wow, crazy. Okay, number 4. This one's darker than the middle two. But yeah, you can see through it a little bit. The first one's the darkest. I'm going to go New World on the first one. Just wild guess, but let's see what we get on those. Oh yeah, this has that definitely that Grenache kind of spice coming through on the nose. Licorice, a little bit of chocolate tones coming through. For some reason, the first thing that comes to mind, it kind of smells like sweet fruit. Definitely plum, and I'm going to hedge on this one. I'm going to gravitate towards like boysenberry, plum boysenberry versus strawberry. Let's see, get on the palate. Wow. Whew. What? Entirely different. This is really cool. Now this one has fruit like number 1. I still think number 1 is New World, but this one really has an interesting blast right in the mid palate, almost like the licorice, chocolate licorice sort of blast in the middle with a little bit of that boysenberry, maybe even some dark cherry notes. Wow. Almost like there's some sort of a baking spice coming through here. It reminds me a little bit of like a gingerbread house type baking spice. There's almost like gingerbread going on there. A little bit, maybe some nutmegs flowing in there. This is really kind of interesting. The spice notes on this are incredible. They really hit you. It reminds me of something some sort of a dessert, like almost like a banana walnut bread without the walnuts. Pepper notes come through. I just love that kind of baking spice thing that happens on the back side of this wine. A lot of minerality. Yeah, this could be the French one. I have a feeling it might be. If that's the case, I don't know. Boy, I don't know. I'm confused. But anyway, this one's very interesting, totally different. I think this one would be, people go wild about this one. It has that nice baking spice thing coming through on the back end. I felt the bottle because there's 2 of them here that are not, the fatter bottles are definitely Grenache. I mean, probably European. Most people like to put them in the fat bottles, but every once in a while you get the thinner bottles. And you might say, well, he's cheating. Well, I can fill the bottle. And Spain likes to put theirs in bottles like this, but I don't know. It could be the Spanish wine. I don't know. I like it. I'm going to go straight up A on that one. This is number 1 in my book. Number 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Just like that. Boy, what an interesting Grenache. if it is from Spain, and Spain does put a lot of their Garnacha in that style bottle. Boy. Well, go last first, right? So with a C+, B-, number 3, it was good. I just didn't think it was, you know, it didn't excel like the rest of them. It was good. I would, for a geeky palate, I would definitely recommend this. This is the Lee Bombard Canonau di Sardinia from Sardinia. Of course, this rolls in at $17. Yeah, if you're a Cab Franc fan, you would love this wine. But I just thought, compared to the other ones, yeah, it's good. Good. C+, B-, nothing to be ashamed of with that grape. Now, in third place with a C+, B-, I guess C+, B-, B-, B. Yes, B-, B was the, Lafage, Nicholas Lafage, Old Vine Grenache. And let's see, I wrote it on the board. Let's see, what is it? $20. I like Lafage a lot. This got a B-, B, so it's right up there with the other ones. I thought this one had a lot of minerality. It's an old world wine from France. It was really good. I love Lafage. They're a great producer. You know, and what I like about them too is this is a 2020. This is a 2022. So a little more age on it. Like I said, they're vintage oriented. I mean, they're driven by the vintage, which I would think is really cool. So, in second place with a A-, and I think this is the New World wine, is the, wow. Well, you know, Spain can be that way, and it fooled me. A Teca Old Vine Garnacha 2021. This rolls in at $19. That was fantastic. A Teca Garnacha. Yeah, I like this one a lot. Like them all, really, but this one definitely fooled me. It had very much New World style to it, and that's not unusual in Spain to come across that way, but yeah. But there was still the minerality, that's why I was kind of hedging a little bit, but I got it wrong. And in first place with a straight up A is the, this one had a cool baking spice. Oh, wow. 2022, Novelty Hill, Grenache, Stillwater Creek Vineyard, Royal Slope, Washington State. Washington State knocked it out of the park. This is $27. Wow. Really cool episode because this is just shows the very different personalities of Grenache and how they express themselves. These are all 100% Grenache. I thought number one was super spicy, which makes sense from France, Lafage. That baking's, that cool spices on the Novelty Hill is crazy. Again, you know, Cab Franc like, and boy, the Teca, they all were good, but the top two were definitely special. Thanks for taking a little time out of your day. I appreciate your support. If you haven't, please consider subscribing to my channel so you can see what's coming up next. You keep watching, and I'll keep helping you spend your wine dollars wisely.